Good evening, Gorehounds, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Hellhounds Review Show with your host, Hellhound. Today we're going to review 976 Evil. Yeah, 976 Evil. Revenge is on the line. Have you ever heard about this movie? Well, if so, sure you like it just as much as I do. And if not, I recommend you check it out immediately. Now, this movie was directed by Freddy himself. That's right, Robert Englund directed 976 Evil. He also directed a couple episodes of the Freddy's Nightmares show. But yeah, isn't that cool? Movie directed by Freddy himself, so you know it's got to be good. And it also stars Stephen Geoffreys, who's best known for his role as Evil Ed on Fright Night. And he's just awesome in the role. He hams it up really nicely. He doesn't overact quite as much as he did in Fright Night. Well, that is until a little closer to the end of the movie, but I'll get into that in a minute. Well, the main premise is Stephen Geoffreys stars as Hoax, who's kind of a nerdy, socially awkward kid in high school who's constantly bullied by his peers. He just doesn't fit in. He's got an overly religious mother who just babies him to a ridiculous extent. This woman just, oh my gosh, she treats him like a child. And, so he's picked on by this group of bullies. They just torment him relentlessly. Also living with him and his mom is his cousin Spike, played by Patrick O'Brien, who's basically a really cool leather jacket clad kind of biker type guy. He's got a motorcycle. He's pretty cool. He's got a smoking hot girlfriend. He's pretty much everything that Hoax isn't. He's like the polar opposite, and Hoax kind of looks up to him because his cousin does defend him in school from the bullies from time to time. So yeah, basically there's this hotline you can call, 976 Evil. You dial it on the phone. It tells you your horror scope. Now, Hoax discovers Spike dialing this number, and it's always telling you some kind of creepy, eerie fortune. It's pretty cool too. I wish they still had a hotline like that. If anybody knows about one, please let me know in the comments, because that would just be cool as hell. So yeah, it's run by this guy named Mark Dark. He runs the phone line. He's played by Robert Picardo. Pretty soon Hoax learns that it starts to give him demonic powers. He's able to use his pet spider to create like billions of spiders all over the place in somebody else's house. He's conducting rituals and stuff. He's learning all kinds of crazy stuff through this phone line. And eventually, he becomes possessed by demonic spirits. He starts getting all these, crazy powers. He grows long black claws. His hair starts growing out. He basically gets cooler and cooler as the movie goes. He has this deep demonic voice, and suddenly he starts to take revenge on those asshole bullies that, that beat him up in school. And, oh boy, does it get brutal. And man, I'll tell you, some of the scenes send chills down your spine. Now, this movie does have several flaws. A few of the payoffs aren't very good. Some of the special effects are, I wouldn't really use the term dated, because I don't even think they would have looked very good back then. Some of the acting's not the best, but it really does deliver the goods. I love revenge movies, especially ones where an outcast gets back at his bullies. I just think that's a cool premise, and it hasn't really been done quite enough. There are a few horror films out there with that same storyline, and this is definitely one of the better ones. It definitely delivers, as I said. It's very satisfying when those pricks get their just desserts. He actually kills his cousin Spike, Patrick O'Brien. He kills his girlfriend because I guess she was messing around on him or something. Plus, they got into like a fight when the bullies revealed that Hoax had a pair of her underwear. Lots of cool scenes. He really looks cool in the demonic makeup. Stephen Geoffreys. The only downside is had this movie not been made, or had it starred somebody other than Geoffreys, he would have been in Fright Night Part 2. That movie would have been way better if he was in it. Yeah, this movie desperately needed Stephen Geoffreys. Well, not desperately, but because I actually like it, despite the negative reviews. I actually think it's pretty good. Most people don't, but I actually thought it was a lot better than most people say. But it would have been way better if Evil Ed had returned. But this movie's still good, and I'm glad Geoffreys got the part because he excels at it. You really do feel sorry for him. You feel sympathy for him as it goes on. That's why, it makes it so much more rewarding when he, dons the demonic get-up and starts getting back at his peers. Oh, it's so awesome. Some good blood and gore in there, too. The demonic phone line that he calls is just too cool. Definitely some standout scenes in this. His mother didn't get it as bad as I would have liked, but, still sets up for some funny lines. He has a lot of good wisecracks and one-liners. The movie is directed by Freddy himself. Of course, he's going to be the master of that sort of thing. What more is there to say about this movie? It came out in 1988. Once again, directed by Robert Englund, so, it's definitely notable for being one of the only movies he ever directed. Pretty much the only other notable movie that Stephen Geoffreys starred in, other than Fright Night, because his career, he had quite an interesting film career after he started those horror movies in the 80s. I'm not going to get into that, but if you're interested, look up Sam Ritter on the internet. Yeah, that was a name that he went under when he starred in some questionable adult films. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that, as I said. But yeah, great revenge movie, great little horror flick. I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. Very high 7, a very good 7. Maybe like a 7.5, because it could have been better, but, it's pretty good for what it is. Oh, by the way, one of the bullies has a really awesome Return of the Living Dead tank top, and I want that shirt. I want it. I must have it. So if you know where I can get one, let me know in the comments below. Alright, now, 976 Evil was followed by a sequel. 976 Evil 2, The Astral Factor. It wasn't given a wide DVD release, but it is part of this horror collection, in which we also have Waxwork, Ghoulies 3. That's the original VHS cover of Ghoulies 3 that I talked about in my Ghoulies video, by the way. Chud 2, Bud the Chud, Chopping Mall, Slaughter High, I've already reviewed that one, The Unholy, and Class of 1999. Some really good ones here. I recommend this horror collection. These are all good movies. Thing is, I already owned most of them separately from this collection, but, whatever. But yeah, 976 Evil 2, The Astral Factor. It isn't nearly as good as the first one. Stephen Geoffreys isn't in it, unfortunately. The new villain is some teacher, Mr. Grubeck, I believe his name is. Played by, what's his name, Renee Assey or something? It's a weird name. I don't know. But doesn't really have much to do with the first one. There is the demonic hotline once again. I think the teacher, the evil teacher who's the villain, he's an okay villain, but, I much prefer Stephen Geoffreys' hoax in the first movie. He gets these powers through the hotline. His face starts to rot away. Looks he's got a pizza face going on. I think he uses astral projection to kill his victims. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's really not that good. But there's one scene that makes the movie worth seeing. That's when two girls are fighting over what to watch. One of them wants to watch the classic family Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life. And the other one wants to watch George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. One of my favorite movies, obviously. And so they kind of argue about it, and they finally say, okay, we'll watch It's a Wonderful Life, the compromise. Well, the girl leaves, and Mr. Grubeck, the villain, uses his powers to zap her into the TV. She's now in a black and white TV world, and it becomes a mashup of It's a Wonderful Life and Night of the Living Dead. That scene alone makes it worth watching. Again, not a very good movie, not a great follow-up, kind of an unworthy sequel, but it contains a scene that's a cross between It's a Wonderful Life, Night of the Living Dead. She gets trapped in there, and everybody's singing. You know, George Bailey just came home. He's like, "Oh boy, life is worth living." You know, whatever. You know, and then everybody turns around. There's zombies, and then they kill her. It's just like, wow. The entire budget probably went to that one scene because it's very well done. It's kind of like something you'd see in the movie Shocker. Kind of felt out of place in this movie, and you know, a little bit more at home in Shocker. But you know, whatever. But yeah, that scene alone makes it worth watching. And Patrick O'Brien does return as Spike. He reprises his role from the first film, so I guess it's pretty much the only tie between that and the original, aside from the hotline. But yeah, I'd say skip the sequel, or just rent it and fast forward to that one scene, and just stick with this one because it's a pretty good movie. Yeah, that's 976 Evil from 1988, directed by Robert Englund. Check it out. I recommend it. If you like revenge movies, you know, outcasts getting even with their tormentors, and demonic stuff, black magic. Got a lot of that in there. But yeah, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching my show, and until next time.